Hi everyone, so my name's Andy and I'm making a follow-up video from the first video that I did around copper toxicity. So I've had a couple of comments and I promised that I would do a follow-up to see how things have changed, how I'm feeling, the things that I found out, and whether my experience is the same as other people's and whether what I've experienced is equally felt by other people. So in September of 2017 I started to feel quite ill, so I went to typical doctors, Western doctors. They confirmed that I was sick, but they felt there was nothing that they could do for me. So that really put me on a path of discovery and trying to figure out why I was ill, what was happening to me, and what I could do about it without relying on them to help me. They had their own views as to what was wrong, but I felt I needed to find out more. So anyway, in the course of the next few months, one of the things that I found out about was copper. And I did a test, which I spoke about in my last video. This is that same test. And the conclusion in that test was that this is a hair mineral test, that my copper was 7.5 when it should be between about 2 and 4, something like that, and then my calcium was also very high, which is seen as what they call the calcium shell to try and protect the body from the copper. Now that in itself isn't overly bad, but what is a huge issue are the ratios between copper and primary other minerals. In the case of copper, it's zinc. You have to have the ratio right. Now my copper to zinc ratio was 2.27 when it should be the other way round. In other words, I had tons and tons of, you can see the ratio there. I had tons of copper, but absolutely more or less zero zinc. And you can see the rest of the ratios either off the charts or quite low, other than these 2 or 3 here. So anyway, as a result of that, I then got a bunch of other recommendations as to things that I can do, but also a course of vitamins to try and help rebalance me. Now, I'll just run through these because some of them are relating to the copper, others are relating to my metabolism and not being able to metabolize properly. So I had metabolic support pack, a granular support pack, magnesium, chromium and B6, potassium, zinc plus, which is zinc, magnesium, vitamin C, a digestive support supplement and vitamin E. Now the recommendation was that I took 2 in the morning, 2 at noon and 2 in the evening of each of those vitamins. So in total I was taking 33 supplements a day. There's the table there, so you can see all the different supplements, and anyway it came to 33. Because I felt so bad, I thought, right, I'm going to do it, which I did over about 4 or 5 months. So that began, I think, in the November, December time. What was the date on this report? Yeah, 12th of the 12th. So December I started taking these supplements, and I kept the program up for about 4 or 5 months. And having kept the program up, I decided to do a retest. I felt, having hit the vitamins as hard as I did, surely something must have changed. So I got another report. And what came back was quite surprising. So I would have expected certainly the copper to come down and things to have changed. However, my new copper content in that 4 months leapt to 12.8 from 7.2 or whatever it was. Yeah, 7.5. So it's gone up by over 30%. In fact, it's nearly 13 from 7. So you could argue it's almost doubled in those 4 months. So what on earth is going on? And incidentally, the same with the calcium. My new calcium reading is now 339 from 177. So I'm going to show you this table here. Now, at the top are my new results. I don't know if that's coming. Is that coming out back to front? I think it might do. And at the bottom are my old results. You can see my copper is basically off the chart, as is the calcium. You know, the good news is the zinc is now, as high as it can be before I'm taking on too much zinc. Same with some of these others. So, if we look at the old chart compared to the new chart, hopefully this will work. You can see overall most things are up, and that was taken in, well, the end of March, beginning of April, so about 2 or 3 months. So within 3 months my copper has doubled, right? The zinc has doubled too, right? So again, coming back to this idea of ratios. So what are the ratios now that the zinc has gone up and the copper has gone up? Well, my old copper to zinc ratio was 2.27, which is bad, but, not as bad as my new ratio, which is 1.54. What that means is that the copper is going up and up and up, but the zinc isn't catching up. It should be the other way round. So the copper should be a lot less than what the zinc is, and that ratio should be around 6, but it's not. It's around 1.64. Same with calcium to potassium, and also I'm not sure what Ca to magnesium. I think that's calcium to magnesium. So again, looking at these ratios, these are my old ratios, these are the new ratios. So anyway, off the back of that, there were another recommendation was made, a similar program of supplements including metabolic support, glandular support, etc, etc, etc. Again, this meant taking 30 other supplements a day, and frankly I was sick of it. And if taking all those supplements actually means that stuff isn't going in the right direction, what was the point? So I did email the people that do the test, and I said, what the hell is going on? Anyway, they came back to me and said it's quite common for people that are detoxing from copper for their levels to spike before it comes down. Now, anyone that's had copper toxicity will know that it's just a minefield, and you can't really put your finger on what causes it or how to properly detox. There's quite a lot of information, but no one's got a magic answer. Coupled with, you know, what doctors think that I've got here in the UK, it's hard to know whether the copper is causing me to feel as ill as I am, or whether the condition that they think that I've got is causing my copper levels to spike. So I'm totally lost, and no one can give me the answer. So what I'm doing is I've dramatically reduced. I'm not taking anywhere near this amount of supplements, but what I am taking is the zinc. So I still take about 400 milligrams of that a day, I think, and also vitamin C, 1,000 mils of that. Now, zinc and VC are the major antagonists of copper. So they're supposed to be the vitamins that that attach and mobilize the copper effectively. So that's what I'm taking, plus some cod liver oil and some turmeric, and that's pretty much it. But I did find an interesting report by the Analytical Research Lab based in the US, and they've got a paper here based on the importance of ratios, the basic mineral ratios, and they just talk about, what they should be and possible symptoms if they're not exactly in line. So let me see if I can find the copper to zinc ratio. No, I'll have to come back to that. But what they do have, which I thought was really useful, was something called, it might not have been there, but there is something called the copper wheel. And in this copper, or in these diagrams, effectively it tells you what antagonizes copper, what can get copper moving, and also what supports copper. So, for example, if we look at this wheel here, we can see that zinc is on the wheel and vitamin C is on the wheel as well as B5, B3 and B6. So I'm now using that to be more prescriptive about which supplements I take to try and start mobilizing the copper. So that's where I'm at. This was done, as I've said, towards the end of March. It's now the beginning of October. So it won't be long before I do my next test. It will probably be December. So that will be a full year since the original report. Now, if you read stuff on the internet, it will say, look, it can take up to a year to move this stuff. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I am the living experiment of whether their science proves true or not. So hopefully that's useful. Feel free to send a comment, or if you've got any questions, put them up there, or indeed if you've got any advice or things you can share with other people. I'd be very, very keen to hear. So yeah, good luck if you're going through the same thing. I hope things are working out for you, and if anything, maybe this is slightly useful. Okay, take care.